morning, good afternoon, depending on the time zone. I am now waiting to see whether Facebook, I'm Felicity Ryan, live right here on Instagram, waiting to see whether Facebook will put me on this morning. It says I am on live on Facebook, and that would be a good thing if true. If not, this is going to be another crazy day. You know how we set this up early. Hey, Hannah. Hey, Carol. I'm so glad you're here on Instagram. That is very reassuring. Jen, hi. That's wonderful. I see people on Facebook, so I must be live. So if you could leave me a comment, that would be great as we see how the technology, hi Tracy on Instagram, is going to work for us this morning. Never a dull moment. I can tell you that a little while ago I was setting up and I was doing everything in advance. So all I had to do was click go live, and it would work, and it was all set and it was all nice and it was all perfect. And then at one moment, everything just completely crashed. I mean, at one moment being 12:29 Eastern, it just crashed. It just went away. So again, and as Hannah Mary McKinnon and I always say, never a dull moment here on First Chapter Fun. Here on Instagram, here's Al, and here's Glennie. That's great. That's wonderful. And on Facebook, if you could leave me a comment that you're here. I know you're here because I see the little numbers ticking up, but no comments for this one. Carol Johnson is here and Jen Jumba is here. Thanks to Hank and Hannah, says Jen, for Sharon Bolton. Oh, for S.J. Bolton. Sharon Bolton is, I'll tell you a secret about this book as soon as we get organized here. So leave me a comment on Facebook. If you are leaving me comments, I don't see them, so that is always a joy. But I know if you're there, Hannah, will you tell me on Instagram, wherever I am, that the comments are coming in on Facebook? This has been a day where I can't see them. I downloaded some weird, I always hate to do it, but I downloaded something that said you need to update. So I updated, and what that means is your life will never be the same and your computer will never be the same. I see Sharon Bolton here on Instagram, and that's wonderful. Welcome, Sharon, today. Anyway, let's get started. I cannot see the comments on Facebook, so keep them coming and I will look at them all later. And I know Hannah and Sharon can see the comments and they will be commenting, so I will catch up. And if there's anything good that I need to see on Facebook, let me know, because Cat Law is saying I made a comment on Facebook and so did some other people. Well, that's so nice, because I'm going to look and see whether, no, there's no restricted, there's no protected. There's, oh, how about this? Followers, how about that? No, it's not going to work. I told you that right before we came on this morning, my Facebook setup was gorgeous. It just crashed. So who knows what it's doing. But here's the scoop. We have Sharon Bolton this morning. S.J. Bolton, Sharon Bolton, and we are going to be reading from The Split. And let me say, so Sharon's saying I can't see Facebook comments either. I don't know what's happening here. Let me switch. Sharon, we know, we want you to see all these. So I'm going to take off all the, I don't know, comments. Let me look on comments and see if it'll show me. No, it won't show me. Nobody can see the comments. Hannah sees the comments. All right, so that's good. So we know, Sharon, that you and I can go back and look at the comments afterward and catch up with everyone, because, okay, starting now, I am Felicity Ryan, and this is First Chapter Fun. It's Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and this is where, if it's your first time, or even if it isn't, this is where Hannah Mary McKinnon and I read the first chapter of a fabulous book, not our own. Although, let me just say that this is a kind of good week to talk about my own for 2 seconds. My book, The Murder List, you see how it is a very good book face, just won the Anthony Award, the coveted Anthony Award for Best Novel of the Year, The Murder List. And that is so exciting. Hannah did me the huge honor of reading from The Murder List here on Facebook and here on Instagram in an earlier session of First Chapter Fun. And I was so honored and so grateful and gratified to win the Anthony Award for Best Novel of the Year, which is so amazing. I was sitting there in the waiting room and with my fellow nominees, who are Laura Lippman, Rachel Housel Hall, Alex Segura, and Steph Cha. So you can imagine when they called my name, what a joy that was. And the other cool thing about it is right now that the Murder List is now on sale in ebook for $1.99. So don't go right now. Don't go now. But after this is done and after we read from the fabulous Sharon Bolton's The Split, go check out that $1.99 edition, the ebook, everywhere you buy ebooks, of The Murder List, the Anthony Award winner for Best Novel, The Murder List. So yay, we're celebrating. Carol is saying congrats, well deserved. Thank you. And I will check comments on Facebook later. So quickly, housekeeping. This is First Chapter Fun. This is episode number 101 of First Chapter Fun here on Instagram and here on Facebook. And I'm so thrilled to be here this morning to bring you another wonderful book. This morning we are going to be reading from Sharon Bolton's The Split here on Facebook and here on Instagram, and I will show you that cover better. You will understand the deep, deep blue of the cover more as we continue to read the book this morning. Quickly, housekeeping, if I get booted from Instagram or booted from Facebook, I will come back and read the whole thing again. Technology is crazy these days, but it's all we have, isn't it, in these crazy times? And that's why Hannah Mary McKinnon started First Chapter Fun 101 episodes ago. So we could stay together and the reading community could stay together and you could discover wonderful new books and wonderful new authors. And that is why we're here today. So I will come back and do it over if we get booted, and it's us, probably not you. So don't give up. Or if you're on one platform and if you're on one platform and decide I want to go to the other one, you can also do that too. Hannah and I are here on Facebook and here on Instagram in both places. So if this is your first time here today, that's great. We adore seeing first timers. We want to bring so many more people into our community. There are almost 2,000 people now who could be hearing these wonderful first chapters. And it's a terrific way for you to be introduced to a new author or see what your favorite author is now working on. So let me tell you that Sharon Bolton has always been, from the beginning, one of my really go-to authors. She's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. This book is unbelievably great. And let me tell you a little bit about Sharon Bolton. Sharon Bolton grew up in a cotton mill town in the north of England, and she had an eclectic early career that she no longer talks about. Okay, so now we know what we're going to ask in the comments, right? What is an eclectic early career that she no longer talks about? Here's Susie Approved and Bonner and Diane. That's so great. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I wish I knew there are dozens of people on Facebook, and I have no idea who you are because Facebook has decided that I can't see the comments. I guess I did something bad to Facebook or didn't do something good. I don't know what it was, but I can't see the comments, but I know you're here. So thank you so much for coming this morning. So we can all ask Sharon about what her eclectic early career that she doesn't want to talk about is, because that sounds good. Anyway, the author of 12 books, Sharon is a Sunday Times bestseller and has been described by that newspaper as being unable to write a sentence not suffused with menace. And that's what I was going to tell you about reading from The Split. You know, Hannah and I practice before reading each book out loud because we don't want to do a cold reading of the author's wonderful book. And as I was reading the first chapter of The Split, I thought, ooh, I'm just going to skip ahead and see what happens, and then I'll just read out loud the rest for practice later, because I couldn't read it out loud quickly enough to satisfy my curiosity about the book. So you will hear that in a minute. Her first novel, Sacrifice, was voted Best New Read by Amazon UK, and her second, Awakening, won the 2010 Mary Higgins Clark Award. In 2014, she was awarded the CWA Dagger in the Library for her entire body of work, and that is a terrifically high honor. She's now saying that Sharon was saying she was in Lancashire, just outside of Blackburn. And where are you now, Sharon? Let us know where you are in the Instagram comments, because I have no idea on the Facebook comments. She lives just outside of Oxford with her family of 4, one of whom is a rabbit-chasing, squirrel-hating, food-stealing lurcher called Lupe, which sounds like a perfect description. I hope that's a dog and not some other kind of a creature. So it sounds like a wonderful place to live and a wonderful environment, and a lot more wonderful, interesting, fascinating things about Sharon that you will be hearing about this week on First Chapter Fun. Also, don't let me forget, Sharon is doing a giveaway for us just here on First Chapter Fun, here on Facebook and here on Instagram. She's giving away an audiobook of The Split, which should, so hey, don't compare it with my reading. I'm sure the audiobook reading of The Split is much better than I'm going to read, but could not be more enthusiastically adoring of this book. Sharon is agreeing that Lupe is a dog, so yay, that's good. So let me tell you a little bit about The Split. There is a giveaway of an audiobook. Nope, that's not it. That's the murder list. We're doing fine this morning, aren't we? We're doing fine on this Thursday, 221 days into the pandemic. This is the best you're going to get. So this is the, oops, here's a message from somebody. Don't do that. This is The Split, and Sharon is wonderfully giving away an audiobook of The Split to one lucky commenter on Facebook, because we want to leave this up a little bit longer. And of course, you know, as soon as we archive the videos here on IGTV and here on Facebook in the videos, as soon as we archive them on Instagram, your comments go away. So this is one of those moments in time. You special people here on Instagram will get to talk with Sharon Bolton, but then your comments will vanish, and this will be a one-time only. So leave your comments, leave a comment for Sharon on Facebook, and you will be entered to win an audio copy of her fabulous The Split. And let me tell you a little bit about The Split right now, which we read with endless thanks to Sharon and to St. Martin's Minotaur, who gave us permission to read this. Let me just see if there's anybody I should have said hi to. Here's May and Diane and Bonner and Susie, and that's wonderful. Thank you all for being here this morning. Yes, Hannah is saying audiobooks are fab, and they certainly are. So the Split was published April 28th, 2020, and it is available right now. Don't go right now to get it. Go after this reading, and I know you will be unable to resist. Here's a little bit about The Split. No matter how far you run, some secrets will always catch up with you. The remote Antarctic island of South Georgia is about to send off its last boat of the summer, which signifies safety to resident glaciologist Felicity Lloyd. Felicity lives in fear that her ex-husband Freddie will find her, even out here. She took a job on this isolated island to hide from him, but now that he's out of prison, having served a term for murder, she knows he won't give up until he finds her. But a doctor delving into the background of Felicity and Freddie's relationship back in Cambridge learns that Felicity has been on edge for a long time. Heading to South Georgia himself to try to get to her first is the only way he can think of to help her. Tense, gripping, and with a twist you won't see coming, The Split is an explosive new standalone thriller from Sharon Bolton about a woman on the run. Okay, so let's read a little bit. The first part one, the first part of part one of The Split by Sharon Bolton. Oops, The Split by Sharon Bolton. Okay, now my Facebook just moved. I'm going to move it back. I don't know what you're doing, sister. Okay. The humans should win. The humans should win in this battle with technology. And it's just always, you're just a little on the edge about that, right? So here's part one. Hey, Sarah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. M-Dame also joined. I always wonder what that means, so let us know at some point. So now we're all here. It's great. I'm so pleased to see so many people this morning. That's really nice. Thank you. It proves how fabulous you know Sharon Bolton is and how fabulous her books are. So The Split, part one, South Georgia, present day. Scene 1. It's not a ship, it's an iceberg. Oh, thank Christ. She drops her binoculars and feels a thudding in her chest that might be her heart starting to beat again. There is no smoking allowed on the island, but she pulls out her cigarettes all the same, because if she can subdue the shaking in her hands for long enough to light one, then she might feel like she's in control again. The wind, though, won't let the flame catch. She checks the horizon again. The speck in the distance is still ice, floating east into the vast cold emptiness that surrounds the Antarctic. The ocean is troubled today, steel gray as the sky and broken like shattered glass. Storms come so fast here, and sunshine turns black in the blink of an eye. The bad weather will be working in her favor, slowing the ship, but not forever. The last ship of the season. One more, and she's safe. She thinks of the fear inside her like a cancer, eating away at muscles, organs, bones, growing all the time until there is nothing left of her but a rotten, stinking mass in skin, stretched like an overfilled balloon. How will the terror burst out, she wonders, when it inevitably does? A scream? A petrified whimper? An alarm sounds on her phone, letting her know that life doesn't stop even if it's on the brink of ending. She turns to walk back, knowing that she's running out of places to hide. The ends of the earth, that's how far she ran this time. Not far enough. And here's section 2, which is now labeled Felicity. On a morning in late March, the end of the summer in the southern hemisphere, a woman stands high on the Koenig Glacier on the island of South Georgia. She is as tall as an Amazon, with the long silver hair of a Nordic princess and the delicate prettiness that is quintessentially English. But none of that is visible for now. The thermal diving suit she wears renders her sexless and featureless, indistinguishable from the man crouched nearby on the ice. As he goes about his business checking air tanks, valves, and weights, Felicity stares into the depths of a glacial blue lake. Beneath her feet, the packed snow groans as she moves to the water's edge. The ice around her is so white, so bright it burns her eyes, but the lake is the iridescent blue of liquid sapphires. Its depth is immeasurable, compelling, and terrifying at once. It is like looking into eternity. Her eyes drop to the letter she's holding. "My dearest Felicity," it says, "finally I've found you. South Georgia? Wow. Know, my darling, that there is nowhere you can go that I won't follow." A hand lands on her shoulder and she leaps around in fright. Sorry. Jack takes a startled step back. "Only me." He lowers his voice. "Are you all right?" There's a lump in her throat that won't seem to swallow away. "I'm fine," she croaks, "just nervous." Jack's eyes narrow before he bends to the ice. "You dropped something. You know this is going to get wet, don't you?" He's got the letter. "It's fine. I've got it. Please?" Felicity grabs it back and bends to tuck it into her kit bag. "Flick? What's up?" She has to get a grip. She has time. She's prepared, even if the worst happens. She just has to get through today. As she straightens up, Jack's voice is still pitched low so that only she can hear him. "Flick, seriously, I can do this myself. You can talk me through it from here. You don't have to." Normally, it isn't hard to smile back at Jack. His face is so open, so kind, so entirely dependable. Today, though, she can't even force it. "I'm fine," she says. "Let's do it." She takes her comms equipment, and a few seconds later, the sound of wind on snow becomes that of radio static. Jack hands over her mask, and she waits a moment before fixing it in place, as though this might be the last time she sees the horseshoe of snow-capped mountains, the pale turquoise sky, and the shadow of albatross wings over silver ice. "Can you hear me, Flick?" The voice in her earpiece is that of their teammate, Alan, 20 yards back from the lake edge. He will direct the dive from the surface. "Loud and clear." Felicity allows Jack to lift the oxygen tanks onto her shoulders. "Koenig Glacial Team to King Edward Point," she hears. 22 March, 0915 hours. Flick and Jack are going down now. 30-minute dive to the position depth sensor and underwater camera. Conditions good. Take it easy, comes the reply from the base. No unnecessary risks. You ready, Flick? At her signal, Jack steps out and a blue wave swallows him up. Felicity follows and falls into a world of pain, cold water shock. She forces her breath in and out and waits for it to pass. When she is calm enough to open her eyes, she sees Jack taking hold of the underwater camera. She looks up, sees the depth sensor being lowered, and grasps it. Time to get moving. Jack's voice, rasping over the comm system, is unrecognizable. They leave the surface and are consumed by a world of blue and white in which the only sound is that of heavy, labored breathing. Felicity and Jack follow the ice wall down, their headlights picking out fantastical shapes. Faces peer at them, animals from legend spring and coil in the ice crevasses. The blue lake, which forms every spring from meltwater, has been steadily accumulating for 5 months now. Sometime in the next few weeks, possibly even today, the ice of the lake's bed will fracture. The lake will drain, sending 100,000 cubic meters of meltwater through an intricate hidden drainage system until it reaches bedrock. From there, it will flow out into the southern Atlantic Ocean. The release of so much water might be the trigger that forces the ice to break apart, to send another massive iceberg tumbling into the sea. Blue lakes, it is believed, play a crucial part in the movement of glaciers and the creation of bergs. The alarm sounds on Felicity's depth gauge. She and Jack have reached the flat shelf of ice that will hold both the camera and the depth sensor to measure movement in the lake over the next week. She hovers in the water and takes her time fixing the instruments in position. I'm switching on, Alan, she says. Hold on. Yeah, we got it. Looking good, Flick. What's it like down there? Jack, she sees, is some way below, his suit ghostly pale against the blue depths. Not sure I've got the words, she tells Alan. Jack is coming back. He swims fast, as much at home in the water as the millions of seals that live around South Georgia. What do you think, he asks as he draws level. You up for it? It is her idea. It, though, seems a very different proposition now that she is in the heart of the lake. It could be very dangerous. On the other hand, there are worse places to die. What's up, guys? Alan's voice crackles at them from the surface. We're thinking of having a quick look for the plug hole. Jack holds eye contact, waiting for her answer. The plug hole is a theory, completely unproven, that at the deepest part of the lake's bed, a weak spot of ice lies directly above a central drain. There's a hiss of static in her ear, and Alan says, I don't know, Jack. It's clouding over up here. Weather changes so quickly in South Georgia, even in summer. Your call, Flick, Jack says. If she dies today, it's over. No more running, no more hiding. Felicity puts a finger to her lips. She feels rather than sees Jack's smile, and then she flips. Guys, what's going on? Alan's voice is breaking up. Directly below, Felicity sees the ice forming a conical shape. Reckon that's it? Jack asks. Guys, we've got movement on the surface, air bubbles that aren't coming from you two. Felicity and Jack stop swimming and look at each other. Other bubbles could be caused by movement on the lake bed. Were it to fracture now, draining the water, the two of them would be sucked into the glacier. They would die in an icy grave or be swept out into the Atlantic. They hear Alan's voice again. Doc says I've got to pull you up. 10 seconds, and then we're winding you in. Felicity reaches behind and unhooks her safety line. She feels Jack's hand brush her ankle as he tries to catch her and misses. Her head begins to throb as she swims lower, and it might be her imagination, but breathing seems to be getting harder. She focuses only on the dark blue cone at the lake's inner core, hears the crackling on the radio, and thinks she can make out Jack asking for a few more minutes. When she is only a few feet above the blue circle, she pulls a small plastic bottle from the pouch around her waist. As she loosens the top, A crimson liquid bursts out like a fleeing genie. It hangs in the water for several seconds, then blooms like an alien flower, spreading slowly in the almost non-existent current. Then it begins to spiral, like water draining from a wash basin. It goes slowly, little more than a trickle, but there is definitely centripetal movement. Flick, we need to get out of here. Jack has swum down to join her. My airways might be icing up. Felicity can't breathe easily anymore, but that seems less important than what she's learned. This is definitely the plug, and the water is draining already. It isn't apparent on the surface because enough meltwater is replenishing the levels, but when the plug disintegrates, the lake will empty rapidly. Jack clips her safety line back on. We're done, Al, he says. We're coming up. When they are ready to leave the glacier, Felicity stands on the edge of the lake once more with Jack, who is holding the video camera. Over one shoulder, she has a bag filled with nearly 100 small orange plastic balls. Sometime in the next few weeks, she says to the camera, the lake will drain. The equipment we've just installed will alert us to it's happening, and there's a chance we can get over in time to film it. These balls might allow us to trace where the water meets the ocean. She lets the balls fall into the lake and they spread out over the surface of the water like sweets on a child's party cake. Are we done? Jack asks as she bends to gather her equipment. I've some stuff arriving on the boat. Felicity stops moving. What boat? Last boat of the summer, the Snow Queen, I think. Why, what's up? That's not today. It is, if it's the 22nd. Seriously, are you okay? Felicity resumes packing, faster now and not nearly so carefully. Yeah, just cold, she manages. She's got it wrong. The boat is coming. The boat is coming today. Okay, so you see why when I was reading this to myself, why I just wanted to read ahead and see what happens, because as the Sunday Times said, she is unable to write a sentence not suffused with menace. Isn't that so true? I mean, every single thing is just completely fraught. Also, that's like 1,000,000 degrees below zero. She's underwater. She's breathing underwater. There's a thing that's going to suck them into the iceberg. But it's so incredible because, right, she's a little bit afraid of that, and she understands why it's dangerous. But also, she's more afraid of who might be coming on the boat, more afraid of hideous, chilling death in the underwater something or others of the Antarctic. She's less afraid of that and more afraid of a person. And that is just the essence of psychological suspense, isn't it? How we feel, our emotions, and how we balance the challenges of the real world. I mean, she's a glaciologist. She understands what's going to happen. She understands water and she understands icebergs. But what she doesn't understand is how humans think, and what people will do to each other. So again, that is The Split by Sharon Bolton. And I know I can hear you clicking on your computers right now to go off and, oh yes, now it can help me. My iPad here just asked me what it could help me with. What it could help me with is not going off when I'm trying to show you this book cover. So that was The Split by Sharon Bolton. And again, Sharon is giving away an audio copy of The Split for people who put a comment on Facebook or put one on Instagram that gets moved to Facebook. And also Sharon will be here to answer questions. She loves to answer questions, and we'd love to hear not only about those eclectic jobs that she no longer talks about, but how she did this research and how does she know about glaciers, and did she really go to Antarctica? This is fascinating. And there's a lot for her to tell us about. So did you love that? Was that not great? Sharon Bolton's The Split. Diana saying, adding to my list. And of course you are. That book is irresistible. So that was our Thursday read here on First Chapter Fun. Welcome to all of you on Facebook. I wish I knew what you were saying because I can't read. Facebook is not showing me the comments. Welcome to all of you wonderful people on Instagram. We're so pleased that you're here for the first time, as some of you are, or Our loyal pals, Jen Jumba and Glennie and Al and Bonner and Tracy. And if I say them all, I will leave someone out. So you know who you are, and we know who you are, and we love that you're here. So are you going to be around on Tuesday? We hope you will. On Tuesday, we have another fabulous book that you will be hearing, and that is How to Save a Life by Liz Fenton and Lisa Steinke. Do you know, let me get it better for you on Facebook. It's not going to work. There you go. Okay, it's just there. Oops. The camera will take it for 2 seconds. It's How to Save a Life by Liz and Lisa. Liz Fenton and Lisa Steinke. Come on, Facebook. All right, you'll have to come here Tuesday to see the cover more clearly. But How to Save a Life is wonderful, touching, terrific book. Kind of a modern retelling of Groundhog's Day and how many times, well, I'll just let you hear it. Liz and Lisa are awesome. They have been best friends forever. They write together. You never know what kind of a book they're going to come up with. We love them. They're dear friends and glorious people, and we hope you will be here Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern to hear from Liz and Lisa and hear about how to save a life, which you can sort of see there. You see it's a Ferris wheel in mirror image or whatever it is. It's terrific. As I said, it's like kind of like Groundhog Day, but with the Liz and Lisa touch. So you will love it. So thank you so much for being here today. Don't forget to leave a comment for the fabulous Sharon Bolton to win the audio version of the split on Facebook, because as soon as we post this on Instagram, all of your fabulous comments will vanish. So until next time, stay safe, stay kind, and we will see you next time. Love you so much.